I forgot we had questions. I'm off. I'm an athlete, you know, it's adrenaline, a little crazy. Yes, ma'am. Tea party.
Yeah. I'm a student of history. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
I'm a student of history.
Yes, ma'am.
And I've especially been focusing on the progressive movement, which I call the fascist movement. There have been 4 waves of fascism that's hit the United States since 1888. The first one was Woodrow Wilson, the second one was FDR, the third one was LBJ, and the fourth one is now Barack Obama. The Republicans have put forth some health care solutions where one of those is going across state lines.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a problem with that because the Congress in the last 100 years has used the Interstate Commerce Clause and the General Welfare Clause in those to push through any kind of legislation they want to. So if you put health care across state lines, then the Congress would have constitutional grounds to regulate health care insurance. And I would like to know what your solution for that particular issue on that particular Republican.
I would like to clap for you because that may be by far the toughest question I've gotten on the trail. I'm an avid proponent of buying insurance across state lines, and I will tell you why. Because I believe one of the arguments that the liberals are presenting to us is that they're railing against the free market, saying that it's oppressing people like you and me, hardworking everyday people who can't afford insurance. The reason why I'm for that is because that creates competition without passing a huge piece of regulation that just binds every insurance company and then ends up with nobody buys anything and it's them versus the government squashing them. I understand your concern, and ma'am, that is why in the legislative branch we have the opportunity to do amendments. That's why we have the opportunity to confer on bills. And listen, I think that's a great concern. I personally, I'm telling you right now, I will personally take that into consideration when I'm in Congress, if I'm elected to Congress, and I will make sure things like that do not happen. And you know what, I understand that, but I think overall, if we allow people to buy insurance across state lines, if we offer incentives, okay, for insurance companies to lower premiums, tax incentives, not a tax on people, tax incentives to these insurance companies to lower their premiums, if we allow, okay, small businesses to confer and come up with more comprehensive insurance plans so that we're not oppressing the little guy, which they're saying the insurance people are the bad guy, but they're the little guy. They're the little small businesses that are getting killed. If we allow that, I do believe that will solve the issue that you have. But that's an extremely intelligent question. I thank you for asking, and frankly, I promise you that I will go back with my policy team and we will sort that out. But thank you. Thank you.
Just about, it seems like at least, every bill that goes through Congress has a bunch of little add-ons. Like, for instance, recently I understand they spend $4 million to study ants in Argentina. What would you do to? I'm not going to ask you whether you'd be for it or not. I don't think you would.
I'm not.
But what would you do to help stop that situation?
Well, sir, part of the problem is that's exactly why people are railing against Washington, and that's not a Republican question. That's an American question. When we're passing, what you have some people, okay, that go to Washington D.C. They really have good intentions. I'm serious. I think a lot of these people are good people. They don't get credit for being good people. They get in there and they want something passed so badly. They want that piece of legislation that really they think is going to be effective. They want it passed so badly that what they do is, you know what they call backroom deals. Okay, they go in the back, they call a couple of their boys and say, hey, I know you need that vote, so what I'm going to do is I need this amount of money for this group because they're going to vote for me and I'll slide this in. Now, really the only way to stop that is to elect people to Congress who won't do that. So, yes, sir. To elect people to Congress who won't do that. Your answer to that is to vote and to put new people in. There's not really a piece of legislation that solves that. It's to get people in who won't do that.
15 seconds.
Another question?
Yes, ma'am. I believe everything you said about working for Joseph Gow. You were his communications person and stuff. I guess one thing that worries me is if you are the nominee is there anything that you said or wrote in presenting his case to vote that the Democrats are going to put on television or in the press to try to make you out to be a flip-flopper on the health care deal?
Well,
10 seconds.
thank you. Yes, sir, thank you. As a communications director, I wasn't the chief of staff. My job is to communicate what the man said. So they can say Princella wrote this, but it has Joseph Gal's name on it because that's what he said. They can also do another simple Google search and see every other single time where I've railed against pieces of legislation like that. Thank you.
Okay.